And we're back. Welcome to the Cinema Draft Podcast, where daily fantasy sports meets the movies. You know them. You love them. It's Return of the Tripod, the cultural cul-de-sac crew themselves. First up, you have the WBW, the working black writer in Hollywood, the chocolate cardinal himself, Stanford's finest, former story editor, but now turned producer of the most ridiculous nighttime soap on broadcast TV. Now renewed for a fourth season, if we ever get there, if we fade the apocalypse. Dynasty, the reboot. It's our own uncut gem. You know him, you love him. It's Kevin Garnett.
That was a hell of an intro, Ed.
Yeah, what's up, Steve Harvey? What's the deal?
Wait. We're not done. We're not done. And we also have GNice. Just kidding. Not that you ever read this rundown anyway, but here is a more fitting intro for our henpecked father of three. I can't keep track. Seven. Father of three, resident cultural misanthrope, educator extraordinaire, and a one-man walking, talking daddy daycare administrator extraordinaire. It is my old writing partner. It's GNice.
What up, good people?
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah, that's right. We have reconvened like Voltron.
Wait, was that a sound effect?
That was a sound effect.
Are back. They are most definitely back.
Nice.
They'll be sweetened in post. Don't worry about
it. Can I play a theme song? If I was the theme song, I want to come into Souls of Mischief.
Okay. Well, we can't afford that. We have no sample budget here. No sample budget. Our Andy Cohen-inspired Watch What Happens Live style drinking game tonight will be the word zombie. Because every time you hear one of us say this word, take a sip of what you're sipping. Because tonight's pod will end up covering our top movies with the zombie apocalypse. A post-apocalyptic world may or may not have already occurred. Well, that's a zombie had to drink. Oh, there you go again. So, all right. So, air horn.
Yes.
First segment.
Yes.
It's what I'm watching. And, of course, you know, since we have the tripod together, actually, I've missed you guys so much. It has been, 2 years and one failed podcast test before. My bad. I promise you we are recording this time, at least according to the little icon. So let's start with what y'all are watching real quick. What's some things you're watching?
First thing I'm watching, I'll jump in.
Garnett, Chocolate Cardinal.
I don't know, and maybe GNice told me about this. I'm not quite sure.
If it's good, I said it.
Okay, probably so. High Fidelity on...
Oh, I said it. I did say it because I'm brilliant.
The wife and I just binged that over the weekend.
Is it good?
It's a very entertaining show.
It's good. I enjoyed it myself. Yeah.
The format is a little weird because she breaks the fourth wall, but like it's Zoe Kravitz, so of course, talk to me, whatever. It's good.
And they make her look like trash too. I mean, like she's like naturally good looking and it shines through some, but I mean, I was really shocked at like how just beaten down her look is. It's bad.
Wow, I would not have said that. I mean, she's more on the Enemy of the State version of Lisa Bonet than say the Different World version of Lisa Bonet, but she still looks good. I mean, it's
Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, there's always
what was the first reference you said? Not Different World. What did you say?
The Enemy of the State, Lisa Bonet. You remember her in that?
Of course. What? Yes, of course.
He's had a long running crush on Lisa Bonet, so I'm sure he remembers everything she's ever been.
Lisa Bonet is she's like super, like honestly, if you look at her like body of work, it's not like the greatest body of work, but she's kind of creepy, but she's still fucking beautiful and awesome, and anything she does, I'll watch.
Yeah, she but High Fidelity, great ensemble cast. The people that work at that's more of Zoe's look.
Yeah,
in High Fidelity.
God, at least Bonet looks great in this picture. So yeah. What am I saying? I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying either. But it's sort of a reinvention of the movie, which was a John Cusack star. But it still has that same sort of feel.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah.
I asked you this. Did you read it?
I didn't read the book. No, I saw the movie. But
the book is fucking. That dude is great.
Based on a book by Nick Hornby.
Based on a fucking great book. And even though it's British, it's still pretty good.
Yeah. And the guy who plays her ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance
He was in Noelle, which I think is an awesome movie, by the way.
Okay.
Very jolly.
I feel like I've seen him somewhere. He's very good. The whole crew is good. They do a thing that a lot of these 10-episode streaming series do.
You're going to ruin this? Don't ruin this.
I'm not going to ruin it. Where they focus on one of the side characters for an episode, and it just doesn't hit as hard. A lot of streaming shows do this, where you'll get an episode about the best friend or whatever, and it's like
a bottle episode. Yeah,
it's still good, but it's not as good because like I tune in to see her adventures in love or whatever.
Did you say you turned to see her naked? Is that what you just said?
No, that's
GNice. Stop. Just keep it classy. Keep it classy.
I will say one of the main draws, the side character, is Divine Joy Randolph.
Yeah,
just, busting through, just breaking down everything, every scene she's in. She's a talent. She's incredible. Her Charisse is. Yes. I mean, at first it feels a little over the top, and then we all kind of know someone like that with she's basically like Anchorman in a black woman's body. Just unearned confidence. Just no one can tell her wrong. It's great. It's awesome.
And they sort of it's like a great spice that you just put a little bit of it in. Goes a long way, and it like makes the whole dish.
True. Yeah. Well said. What are you able to watch anything, GNice, besides
that was like a metaphor. I haven't watched this yet because I have this weird thing where like I want to I want to watch it. I wanted to watch it from the jump, but like I need to, like when I go in, it's all I'm going to watch. So I just need to be ready. And
it's a half hour, so they go by quick.
I know. But I also want to watch the original before I go in.
The original what?
I want to watch the original again before I go in.
Oh, the movie. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, enough about what you want.
I know it's not necessary. I know it's not necessary, but I like to do things the way I want to do things. Thank you.
Unnecessarily. Great.
Well, how about do something for us? Tell us something you have been watching or you just watched. I recommend to people.
Me?
I'm touching my nose.
Come on, dude. You got to stop that. Sanitize first. I watch this is gonna sound so sad, but I watch a lot of stuff while I'm washing dishes, which
it's not
sad. How you live.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm enjoying. I purposely watch stuff that I don't really care what happens.
Sure, hell, I've watched Love Is Blind and The Circle. I mean, come on, no shame, no shame around here.
Yeah. What have I watched that's like good? I'm sort of watching. I'm like off and on watching the third season of True Detective.
Huh. Okay. I liked it. I believe, if I do recall correctly. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's the Mahershala?
Mahershala and Steven Dorff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I watched that. I fell off. That season 2 was like, I'm good.
Yeah, because I feel like season 2 was in, and I really like Vince Vaughn, but it was like there's so much about this, which is so much flavor and so much like. The idea is cool, but there's like no substance. You're just kind of like, what the fuck? Like if you stop and you jump to episode 8, it's not going to really make a difference. You'll know something bad is happening. They're reaching for it. They say some strange lines. What's her name is hot though? The lady.
I always get them confused too. It's like, is that Carmen? I'm not sure if that's Carmony Jogo. I think this is Carmony Jogo. I think this is her.
Yes,
because she's also in that self-made miniseries on Netflix, which I didn't see. I didn't want to mention on what I'm watching because you don't necessarily want to disparage something per se, but it just felt like black people's homework. It was fine. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was fine.
She was also in Metro, by the way, starring Eddie Murphy.
That's actually when I think the U.S. was introduced to her because I remember Metro. I think I owned Metro, true, and she was so hot. I'm like, let me own this film because she's incredibly hot.
She's in The Girlfriend Experience.
I never watched that.
Yeah, she was. Oh, that's excellent. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like anthology series per se.
I don't know if it's excellent, but she was very good.
Well, the first season was definitely excellent. Second season was really good. They told 2 competing stories that had nothing to do with each other, but it was both kind of like different sides of how people are using kind of sex as currency. One like a politician type, like she's like a political handler, and the other one, Carmony Jogo's character, I think she was like a drug dealer's girlfriend who went into witness protection or something. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Zombie.
I also watched
I just want to make someone drink. All right, I'm drinking. You can't see me because once again we have technical difficulties for those who are actually watching the pod. We can't get this damn video to work. Great job, Zoom. But yeah, we're sharing screens. We have KG on camera and GNice doing his.
This is choice, man. Choice. The I watched the season 4. I finished season 4 of Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It is great. It's great, but there's something about it that's like, it's good. It's always good, right? It's its quality. It's good acting.
Season 1 was very slow.
Yeah, there's something about it where it's obnoxiously slow.
Yeah, I felt like the first couple seasons were slow, but it picks up in 3 and 4 a little more. I mean, it's all dragging out to where we know it's going to end. But season 5, actually, it's all kind of built to this. It's really good now. Like really, really good. Like they had, I think, one of their best episodes, like this past Monday, involving Kim and Saul Goodman.
No, tell me you got it.
Is this the final season or?
No, I think it's this one, and then the next season will be the final season. I think they announced like a 2-season final thing.
Dude, Giancarlo's balling, dude.
He's great. Like, that guy.
Like he just gets like, now he's kind of bad guy, but he's good. He's like constantly good. And he's just like, he was the one in the Star Wars shit. He was the bad guy in the Star Wars guy too.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Oh, I clicked the wrong Better Call Saul. Oops. I was like, why are all these pictures of Homeland? Okay, yeah, sorry, people watching at home. Better Call Saul, the action. Here we go, the series. My bad. I guess there's an episode called Better Call Saul and Homeland that really tripped me up. Okay, here we go. Sorry, continue.
Saul Goodman.
All good, man.
It's all good, man. Yeah. Yeah, Better Call Saul I really enjoyed too. So I guess that kind of qualifies what I'm watching as well. I'm in on the new Westworld. I'm in on the new season of Westworld. Season 3. Season 2 was an incomprehensible mess. You can listen to a recap and it still won't make any sense. But season 3 so far, these first 2 episodes, it looks like they spent $1 billion. It's sleek, it's sexy, it's dangerous. Evan Rachel Wood's got an incredible wardrobe. She was the focus of the first episode. The second episode was all about Tandy Newton's character, and Tandy Newton just, throwing fireballs like a Nintendo 64 game. Oh my God, she's incredible.
But here's another example of something. This is Nolan's brother, right? It's something.
Yeah, Jonathan Nolan, aka the guy who did Person of Interest, which was a fine series in its own right.
Well.
And his wife, Vanilla Cardinal.
Batman and
Vanilla Cardinal. Asian Vanilla Cardinal, yes.
Yes, something like that.
This is another example of like great acting, super like good production, like all this extra like beautiful stuff, but it's like, what the fuck is going on? There's something super annoying about like, dude, you're smart, I get it, but like now you want everyone to walk away going, what the fuck just happened? Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't watch season 2, but I definitely think that season finale of season 1, just like when you thought the world had kind of closed in on itself, totally opened it up. So during this little hiatus here, I think I'll try to go back and binge 2. And
you're gonna be. I guarantee you, we're gonna say this right now on this podcast. You're gonna come back next podcast. You're gonna be like, I'm super frustrated by what just happened.
I was gonna say season 2 might actually frustrate you. I don't see anything wrong.
Not fun. That's this is supposed to be released. This is supposed to be we enjoy it. That shit was dope. But instead, you're like, fuck you. Why did I waste another hour? What the fuck?
I think you can actually skip season 2, find a recap somewhere, and be just fine. Like a 5-minute recap. Yeah.
Zero chance Kevin skips it. He cannot do it. He would never be able to walk away.
It's difficult. I still have 17 episodes of The Americans left. That is my new priority. So
I'm on season 3. I've never stopped. I keep saying I'll do it, and then I never do. Fargo's another one like that. I want to do it, but who knows? I'm old
after
now.
That season 2 finale, or that second to last episode in season 2, I'm like, done with the Fargo.
Yeah, well, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Chris Rock if and when.
I'll watch that. I'll watch Rock on there.
Yeah, but Westworld is just so well stocked acting. I mean, in season 3, the narrative seems fairly straightforward.
But it's not. Ed, I haven't seen them yet. But I know that you're wrong. Because the thing is, they're beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so well done. But it's
GNice, just trust me. Just watch. All right. So the feature looks very smooth. That's one of the things I'm watching. Another thing I watched real quick Hillary. It's 4-part docuseries on Hulu, and it's interesting. I mean, it definitely gives you a historical perspective on her. And yes, it's mostly in her own words, and so you can think that it's going to be hagiography, but it's not, because she's a realist. Like she's definitely, like, she talks about all her stuff, like Bill being a cheating bastard, how she was. Did you know she used to be on the team that was working to impeach Nixon? I mean, that's how
Really?
that's how far back she goes. Like, she has been a legit G forever. Like, she was into women's rights before it was like, super, cool or whatever. I mean, it's very instructive about her life. You kind of get an idea of like who she actually is, and something she goes up against. And it made me, I've never been a huge Hillary fan, but I mean, I came out liking her better. Like, it humanized her.
But her emails.
Yes, look where that got us, right? And
yeah,
sounds like GNice is back on daddy duty right now.
No, that's me.
That's Kevin. That's not me.
He ran in.
He's a tough old bird. And also another thing I thought was interesting was that part of the reason why Putin went in so hard on messing up with our elections is that he didn't want to face her, because she was always giving him shit when she was running Secretary of State. Like, he hated her, talked bad about her, but he respected her. So he didn't want to deal with her. He wanted to deal with like a useful idiot like what we got now. So
yeah.
Yes, awesome.
One other thing that I will say that I'm watching, which you should all get in on, is GNice on Instagram. Live.
I heard this is just dope.
It's pretty dope. I didn't check it out Saturday night, but then last night, or whatever it was, the first night I didn't check it out, but then Saturday night I tuned in, and it was crazy. I mean, like, he's circa our ages. You guys are a little bit younger than me, but he's like around our age now. Like, this next one, he's got Michelle Obama sort of sponsoring or whatever. He was already doing like big parties and making a lot of money, but like after this, he had 150,000 people in there on Saturday night.
Saturday was iconic, because I'm not a big Instagram like dweller. I use it mostly for work to promote my work. But man, I kept seeing like Club Quarantine, hashtag Club Quarantine was the number one trending topic on Twitter. And so
it was the number one topic in the world at one point.
In the world, yeah, it was nuts. So when I clicked through, I saw all these people. Screenshotting like, Michelle Obama popped in, Joe Biden popped. It was hilarious. So I'm like, all right, let me check this out. And it was nice. It was nice to see people in our times of uncertainty and quarantine all kind of come together to enjoy good music and just kind of share a communal but separate experience. That was nice.
Well, I will say this. I do find this super interesting that like people in Redondo Beach Huntington Beach apparently are going to the beach, but people who are actually staying in their spots. Like, I find it interesting that we're finding ways to still communicate and still like find things to do. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's kind of cool. It's not the same thing as going to a club and watching him spin, but it's still cool that like people are talking about, oh, check this out, come do this. Like, the fact that people like, on Friday night, I got on a video chat and hung out. It was totally stupid, but it was like,
and you're wondering like, well, shit. First of all, you probably saw friends you hadn't seen in a while, and you're like, why haven't we been doing this all the entire time?
Right. I had friends who told me that, like, and I saw Karina did with her coworkers, and I saw some people got on. Someone from my work said they got on over the weekend, and they played spades through the.
Stop it!
I still don't totally understand how they did it, but
yeah, neither do I. Don't understand that either.
Well, they probably what they probably did was there's probably like a game, like an online game they played, and then they video chat like the shit talk, which sounds exceptional. Actually, that sounds like a great idea. All right, the last thing I'm watching is Boomerang. I did. It was about time. I was overdue for one of my yearly rewatches. It is 100% my absolute favorite movie of all time.
It's still a great fucking movie.
As the kids say, it still slaps. It bangs. I love that movie. And what was great was I'm in this Facebook group called The Watch. It's like a Facebook group for the Watch podcast from the Ringer Network. A very vibrant group, about 8,000 media psychos. and so like about 3 or 4 of us were on there live blogging it because we all started watching at the same time. Like I think 6 p.m. on a Friday. And it was great because like me, this other dude, the other black dude about my age, and then this young Brit, a millennial Brit named Christy Josbury. Shout out to Christy if you end up hearing this, because this thing came out the year she was born. So she'd never heard of so she was like, what's Mac Daddy? Like she's British and she's young. So she had no idea about any of this stuff. And it was funny because the entire time she's cataloging all these workplace violations and like, oh, that's a lawsuit, or oh, why, he can't talk to her that way. It was really funny. And Tyler did not age well for the millennials. So I had a blast. It was great getting her perspective in it. And also just watching a movie that I love, which of course I can quote backwards and forwards, and watching someone discover it for the first time. I highly recommend it.
The thing about anyone, whether they're a principal, a president, a coach, if you are confident enough in your own abilities to put great people around you, it just lifts the whole thing. You got Tisha Campbell in a role that she had probably 10 lines in the movie. She had like 2
Hey
scenes.
girl, don't trust her. I mean, she probably shot it in like 2 days, right? I mean,
yeah, she probably shot it in a day. You got like Witherspoon, you got Robin Givens pre-Mike Tyson, you got Leela Rashawn, Martin.
Gold star for Marcus.
Absolutely amazing cast. And Eddie at his peak. This is when Eddie was truly showing, I can give you stand-up, I can give you buddy comedy, I can do comedy on my own, I can do characters. Now this was Eddie saying, I can be essentially romantic leading man, sit back and not have to be the guy with all the jokes. I'm still smooth, I'm still funny. This is peak Eddie Murphy.
Peak Eddie Murphy. I think it was 28 at either the time he filmed this or when it came out. I mean,
he was 28 right here?
Yes.
Wow. Because he started at 18, so I guess makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like him, Martin Lawrence, David Allen Greer, all young in their prime. Martin, I think, had the top show on, was he on UPN or WB? I always get it confused. I think it was on WB, right? I know they ended up merging, but whatever. He had a top show on Thursday nights, Marty Marr and stuff. I mean, Strange. You girl. It's you, girl. I mean, just it's iconic.
Eartha Kitt. Come on.
Yeah, this movie's great. This movie's still great. It's true, because Eddie, like, people always think like the funny guy, you'll put him in there and he'll do the romantic. There's a lot of great comedians who cannot do the romantic comedy. They can't. Like, as much as I like Chris Rock, he can't do it. Like, nope. He cannot deliver. Like, Eddie can deliver a line, and that is not nothing. He can deliver a line. He can be smooth. Even in those moments, like there's these moments like this where it's a romantic comedy, so he's just being the smooth guy. He still has those scenes where he cuts it up, but it's not over the top. It's like, like it's still really funny. It's still within context. He just has levels that most people can't do. Like Seinfeld can't do that. Like,
no, Seinfeld can't deliver a line that you believe that he's not Jerry Seinfeld. Like, right. He's funny and he's a Hall of Famer, but like he cannot come anywhere near.
Right.
This.
There's these moments where the comedian comes in, and people have been trying to do it ever since. Be like, throw somebody else in there. It's fine. But that takes talent. Like, you have to be able to have these levels. He's a natural actor who's funny as shit. Yeah. Most people are funny as shit, and they try to make them actors.
And he had a nice little comeback in the Dolomite movie too. Yeah. It was good to see him work again. But he's just Eddie Murphy just peak. And just to violate real quick, show a little bit of what we were talking about at the end of our live chat. I'm not sure if you guys watched or listen to the podcast The Rewatchables, another one in Bill Simmons' Ringer Network.
I've heard that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, they do way too many for me to keep up with them all. But basically, they have got these categories they kind of blow through each rewatchables, and so we decided to apply that to Boomerang. So first one we did most rewatchable scene. Obviously, we all decided it was Thanksgiving. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. It's just iconic. We got to coordinate all sort of stuff. And then one guy said, "At any time Eddie checked the feet." Okay. Mm-hmm. Who won the movie? Who do you have for who won the movie?
Halle Berry.
You know what? I said Halle Berry too, because she does triumph at the end, and Halle Berry. And I said,
what are you talking about? Eddie Murphy won the movie. It's his movie. What? That's ridiculous.
Well, I did say Halle Berry at the end, but Eddie was Kang. I mean, top of his game, and it's a bit of a toss-up. It's like 50-50 to me. It could be either one. But Halle Berry does do the most dramatic glow up in that movie because come on, Robin Givens was just like peak hotness of her entire career for most of that movie. I mean, any movie that makes Halle Berry look ordinary for like half the movie, I mean, I mean, she was incredible flex on Halle Berry's. I mean, on Halle Berry's part on her glow up, and she does win technically. Like she gets everything on her terms at the end, and it really does kind of elevate her into a top tier star. I mean, she was already. I mean, I don't even think she was quite there yet. Like she was still on the come up. Like I think she'd done the last Boy Scout, but she hadn't glowed up.
She might have done Jungle Fever. I don't know if that was before or after this. But that didn't. She was just a bit part.
She was a crackhead. Like she was unrecognizable in Jungle Fever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying she was. What's that?
That's right. She was. That's what she was with Sam Jackson in that movie, right?
Yeah, come on, just give me some. I mean, she was. Yeah. Very, very believable. So then, and also another one is the Dion Waiters Award. Now this one goes to the person who comes in with the least amount of minutes who gives the maximum impact on the game.
David Allen Greer. Or Witherspoon, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I picked Witherspoon. Someone picked Chris Rock. And then my boy
Chris Rock has that great line, right? He's got that line, first the Fat Boys break up, now this, nothing to believe in anymore.
Malcolm X didn't die for you to be moping your ass around.
Yeah, he had like 2 scenes.
Yeah, like 3 or 4, and he's always like pushing that cart, the office pool, all that sort of stuff. And then Eartha Kitt seemed to be kind of like, I mean, it was like 5. It was like 5 people. It was like Grace Jones also.
Right. Oh yeah. She
puss.
I can't say pussy. She like.
I totally want to watch this movie again right now.
Again, you're putting all of these home run hitters around you. There's nowhere to throw in the lineup. Like everybody's knocking it out of the park.
Absolutely.
Everybody on top of the game.
One of the best soundtracks ever. To Joey
Pants.
Right.
The Road is all that. That's right.
Joey Pants Award. Who's the one who like that guy, the person who you've seen them before, but you don't really know who they are, but they give like a fine performance. And this one I said it had to be Jeffrey Holder because everyone's kind of seen that guy, Nasty Nelson. That's me.
Jeffrey Holder.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that the bald guy?
Yeah, the bald guy, Nelson. Yeah. Yeah. He's at least you have any sausages in this one, Nelson. Oh. He's just, he was always off the hook. He was great. Actually, let's look Jeffrey Holder up real quick because we've seen him in like I think he was in like I want to say he was like in a Bond film or something, like a villain or whatever. But Jeffrey Holder is one of those guys. I don't know. I wonder if he's still alive. Okay, he's still alive. He's 84. Oh no, he died. Oh, I'm sorry. He died at 84 in 2014. Okay. But yeah, he's one of those guys who I guess had like a huge long career. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, he was a Bond villain. Yeah, that guy, and he's had that deep voice, and he's Annie. Yeah, there we go. Live and let die.
Y'all had Kodo in the house.
Yeah, Jeffrey Holder. I wonder if they'll have I guess they don't have a boomerang shot of him, but he was one of those like kind of classic, long running actors who just had a presence. So that was my vote for the Joey Pants That Guy Award. And then the overacting, he knew the Mark they call it the Mark Ruffalo, he knew overacting award, and everyone said like no one really. Maybe I put David Allen Greer because he was just so corny, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
he was so good in that movie though. He was such a like good dude. He was perfect in that movie.
There really wasn't an overacting part per se. I mean, it's all like a heightened comedic reality. Everyone really kind of played their part. I mean, if you had to pick someone, maybe him, maybe Tisha Campbell.
Yeah, maybe Tisha.
What are you? My size, my height, my weight, doggy style. So good. That whole thing bangs. And then the last one would be half-assed internet research. We'll skip that because we all know the history behind that backwards and forwards. But the other one would this work as a 10-episode Netflix series? And I said, look, they already have a 10-episode BET series.
They're like in season 2 or 3 or something. Yeah,
they are. And I saw like the first 3 episodes, and it was fine. Like I didn't hate on it. It seemed like it might be okay. It was Lena Waithe was behind it, but I just never caught up to it because I think we switched to YouTube TV, and I just they don't have Viacom channels, and so I never really kept it up.
Yeah, I think I saw they did the first 2 as a pilot, like a 1 hour, the 2 episodes. It's got the kid from that was in Everybody Hates Chris as the older,
Quan
as
Richmond,
the younger brother.
Yeah, Daquan Richmond
with the mustache. It seems fine, fun. Like you, I didn't keep up with it because there's a billion things to watch.
Yeah,
but so must be doing something right because they got another season. So.
Well, actually, this is probably out of pocket. I have no idea how BT or BT Plus is doing. I can't imagine it's doing that great because who's going to pay $10 for BT? I'm just saying. But they have a show. It's going on. They're trying to do original scripted programming. It might be great. I have no idea. For me, I like Lena Waithe as an idea, and that she's giving people jobs and stuff. But I haven't been totally blown away by her stuff yet, except for that episode of Master of None was great. Queen and Slim, I think she had ushered in, was it had some problems, but it was entertaining. But I don't know.
I enjoy The Chi. We enjoy The Chi. It should be interesting how they survive without homeboy that played Eazy-E because he's off the show.
Jason Mitchell, yeah, he's been canceled.
which is he's a great actor, so it's unfortunate that he has all these other issues going on.
Yeah.
Because I suppose he got kicked off of a Netflix movie before the thing with The Chi. So.
Oh goodness.
But I watched The Chi. Queen and Slim, I think, beautifully shot, wonderfully acted. The story to me had problems. Yeah. I think you did a great job uplifting the black female, but then the black male made some decisions that were just like,
yeah, exactly.
That were very bad, not realistic or smart decisions.
Agreed. Well, I had a blast doing Boomerang, and we, what? Honestly, Boomerang needs his own podcast. Maybe we'll do one day, or maybe we'll do a group watch. That might be fun too. But I will keep it moving because we can do this all day. So, moving on to the next segment. This week, it is our top 3 post-apocalyptic movies. You need to name a movie that paints either a dystopian, ravaged future or one where humanity is struggling to survive after an extinction-level event. So this does not mean you can do World War Z because that is when the apocalypse is happening. We need to have it post-apocalypse, after shit's gone down, after we are struggling in a wasteland and a landscape that's not known to current eyes. And so basically,
those are the rules?
Those are the rules.
But it could be a dystopian future, so it doesn't have to be necessarily a wasteland per se.
Well, yeah, right. Like, but
we're in it right now. It's not over yet. So wait, let me get this straight. So just so I know the rules, so I can break them. You say that World War Z doesn't count because the zombies are coming at them at that moment. It's just happening.
Yes, that doesn't count.
But if they had built a little cottage and the zombies were still out there, it counts.
Yes, that counts.
Okay.
Ooh.
See, look at that.
Yeah, like the zombies won, or humanity had to retreat, and you're living in retreat. That counts.
That just made me think of one, is why I said
No, was damn. Greg Nice had a good point.
No.
Well, I got some in mind too, and basically the way the game works, we alternate picks. Once someone picks a movie, that movie is out of play. So you need a bit of strategery if you want to keep up with this.
You are never gonna pick mine.
Yeah, we probably are. You are very
probably
obscure.
Will.
You're very obscure at misanthropic. All right, so Kevin, since you were,
can we say this though? 2 things very quickly. One, we should just give a shout out to Lost, even though
it's not TV show doesn't count, but yes, Lost.
But it is totally enjoyable, absolutely ridiculous. And 2, since you took it off the board, World War Z is a fantastic, fun, awesome. Every single time I watch that movie, it's consistently good.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. And actually, I didn't realize that Max Brooks, like did he author the book and the screenplay? I know he did the screenplay. I'm not sure if he did the book, but I had no idea he was like Mel Brooks' son. Like Mel Brooks still spitting them out at 46 because as Max Brooks like 47, his dad's like 93. They did that whole PSA on social distancing and stuff. And when they said their ages, I was like, whoa, there's hope for me. I got a couple of years. But Max Brooks still spitting out seeds at 46. Good for him. All right, all right. So yeah, so since Kevin was the one on time out of all three of us because of my technical difficulties, awesome. You get to go first, and I think I have a pretty good idea where we're going to go because you're a strategic motherfucker like myself. So go ahead and take it off the board.
Can I guess yours? Can I guess yours?
No. You can say you were right after I say it, but you can't guess. Because if you guess and you're wrong, then you're taking something, it ruins the fun.
Excellent point. Thank you for playing by the rules, Kate.
So again, there's obviously a lot that comes to mind. I'm going to go with to me the obvious choice, one of the great post-apocalyptic movies of all time, the centerpiece, the middle piece of a trilogy, which is always sort of a great way to go. I don't know, they maybe made a fourth one of these, but The Road Warrior, Mel Gibson.
Oh, okay. The original Road Warrior. Okay.
So predictable.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So the first Road Warrior, or
no, Road Warrior. The first one was called Mad Max. Second one was called Road Warrior.
Third one was called Tupac Video.
Oh, Mad Max: The Road Warrior. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. I guess they did make a fourth one with a different
Hardy.
Max.
Yeah, Tom Hardy and Charlize, where Charlize totally stole that movie from him. That's another story.
That shit was fucking good, though.
Yeah.
Also Zoe Kravitz in that. So there's possibly a theme tonight. That movie was great, but this one, I think this is where, because the first one was more dramatic, similar to the Alien franchise. The first one was more dramatic and suspenseful. The second one is just pure action. It's just similar to, that sort of set the tone for the rest of the series, where you've got Max, he's out there with his car and his gun and his wits, and he's becomes this hero to this small community. He's fighting through all these crazy fun villains, the guy with the mask on and the microphone, the guy with the mohawk, you got the little kid running around crazy. Very fun movie. I'm sure you all.
There we go. There he goes, the Mohawk guy.
The Mohawk guy with his little friend sitting in the back there.
Oh, look how young Mel Gibson is. Pre-racism. Awesome.
Well,
racism ages you, man. Racism ages you.
That guy with the little helicopter thing and the crossbow. Fantastic movie. Fantastic series. That's all I got to say.
All right, excellent. All right, and so since I know GNice is still scrambling for.
I am not. But you go. I'm bet, dude. I don't.
Yeah, no, well, you're the guest here. It has been a couple years. I will let you go first if you.
I don't want to go first. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you have your choices.
Well, since you took what seemed like to me the most obvious one, since you didn't take the most obvious one off the board, I'm taking the absolute recently most obvious one off the board, even though it was discussed recently on another podcast. I mean, it's just too obvious to let go. I Am Legend, of course. You got to do it. You just got to do it. I mean, Will Smith. I mean, since people who do follow this podcast already heard us wax poetic about it last week with our guest Karen Brundage. Grundy, shout out. A man, his dog, and the apocalypse. Alice Braga stops by with her kid. That's cool for a minute.
Sure. A little Sally Richardson, right?
Sally Richardson, yeah. And it's this is like an actor showcase. It's just basically kind of like this is his Castaway. This is Will Smith's, one-man tour de force, and it was great. It was engaging. It was scary. I remember seeing this, and this is definitely a shout out to another tripod, the FemPod, aka Monet Moore and Nick Ward, aka the official therapist of the pod. We used to go see openings in summer times as a group when I lived in LA, and we'd always go to the Grove and we'd go see the midnight movie. And I remember being like the first row for this with the three of us and I think Valencia and our boy Derek Brooks. And I remember Valencia, she's such a scaredy cat. She saw the entire movie through her fingers because she was so scared and freaked out. Because zombies are scary.
Valencia Parker?
Valencia Walker.
Oh,
she's actually a doctor. I think she might be like a traveling doctor now. But yeah, and fun fact, Valencia, she actually used to date the guy who ended up creating Will Packer and all that stuff. So she used to date Will Packer. So yeah, she actually, I think she might even have a writing credit on Trois or something. I'm like, oh my goodness. That movie was hot garbage, but congratulations.
Congratulations. Hey.
Yeah, so I Am Legend, zombies, the apocalypse, Will Smith trying to doctor his way into a cure. And it was very thrilling, very action. And this is Willow. Wow.
Is that Willow?
Willow Smith. In a flashback scene. Oh, yeah.
Well, the good apocalypse movies, to me, the ones that are good are the ones that are hard to watch. Because they're super stressful.
Yes.
Right? They're like,
exactly.
Yeah, and this movie's not. This movie has really, really stressful moments.
Francis Lawrence.
It's got that like crazy breathing zombie, right? The one where he follows the dog into there's the scene where he follows the dog into like the building and he's like shining the light and he's covering the light and you see the thing breathing. Just like, fuck you, let me get out of there fast. Like those that's what makes that movie, like those good movies are the ones that are just like so incredibly stressful. And there's a number of scenes when he's hanging upside down and the dog is barking. That's another one where you're just like, I want to fast forward the scene really quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, co-written by Akiva Goldsman, legend. Himself.
I never loved the title and like the connection. Like I thought that part was kind of weak.
It's based on a novel, right? Was it based on a novel? I Am Legend, I think.
I think like with the Marley, right? That's the whole reason they're playing the music the whole time. And he talks about like a better world. I just thought that was a little philosophical. It was whatever. I don't care. He's alone. He's bored. But
right.
I was just like, I don't know. I Am Legend. I don't know. It could have been like Man and the Dog. You know what I'm saying?
Man is Dog. All right. Well, you're up, GNice. What you got?
All right. Okay. So let me see here. I'm trying to figure out what order I want to go in. You'll never get them either way. So we're not using it, so we have to do a quick shout out to the most recent Mad Max, which is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Fury Road.
I just don't know. Okay, so I will go backwards. So the A Quiet Place.
Oh, excellent choice. Excellent choice.
It's really, really good. It's super annoying and it's incredibly stressful to watch.
Yes.
But it's very, very good. And I'm excited about the sequel. And the scene where she gives birth was just nuts.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie, KG?
I have not seen it. I'm not a big horror fan, although I've heard amazing things about this. It's on my list, even though you already spoiled it.
Not really horror.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't do horror either. Like
it was billed as a horror movie.
Yes, but it's more like a thriller. Like, I mean, well, I guess this term it might be a stretch of this term, but like a social thriller to an extent, where like what happens to society when you can't speak because aliens might get you. And it's
obnoxious. Really everything about it is obnoxious. Like I remember Karina had to talk me into watching it. I was like, I don't want to fucking watch visual the whole time, but it's very good. And again, it's crazy stressful. It's not fun to watch at all, but it's just really, really good. Mm-hmm. It's thoughtful. It's smart. It's well done. Even the
sound mixing's incredible too, because I mean, you're living in a world without sound, and it's like obviously like the jump scares are really heightened when you go a long time without like dialogue and stuff.
I also feel like any sort of world where you have to create a monster is always like super cheesy to me and sort of over the top. And like now there's this push to like make them look even more different. But this was just good. Like the monster was fine, but it was like whatever. There's the bad guy. That's not the story. The story is like the stress, like even the walking on the sand. All that shit was so clever.
Yeah, yeah. Creating like a silent world for the hearing is just definitely very interesting. Yeah, excellent choice, GNice. Off the top rope, very strong. All right,
what's your top course? I don't need to know nothing in advance.
So what's your second pick, KG? What you got? Number 2.
Number 2 for me. I'm going to go with one of my favorite movies, Children of Men.
Oh, nice. And you totally wanted to say it, didn't you?
It was on the list. I got backups.
Yeah. I mean,
it's poetic on it, KG.
Clive Owen, Shitaway, however you say his name. great movie about a guy sort of who's drafted into this position to help this young lady out and in a way save the world. In not so many words, Clive Owen is his usual sort of gritty, grounded self.
That was Claire
And,
Hope Asherty. Wow. Okay.
what else has she been in?
She was in 7 Seconds. She was like
Okay.
the main detective on that, one season and done Netflix series. And then also I saw her on this I've been kind of getting sucked into BritBox. I mean, I don't have BritBox, but it's like I'm in like a British frame of mind these days. And so I watch a lot of like, because BBC has like they have like a really highly efficient, like called Britficient system where they do like 6 to 8 episodes and they're done. And she was on a couple seasons or series of Dr. Foster, the woman who plays the lead in the HBO show A Gentleman Jack. Her name is Saran Jones. She's, I guess, a bit of a British TV legend, and so she's playing like the lead in Dr. Foster. She was like maybe third lead on that show, and I just keep seeing her in odd places with a mix of accents sometimes. She's just good. Yeah, she's good.
But yeah, solid movie. There's 2 sequences in particular that are like, several minutes long. They make it feel like it's one long take.
Yeah, that Steadicam shot with him going through the building. I'll never forget that one.
At the end, but then also the thing when the car gets stopped and they got to go in reverse and the sort of guys are coming down the hill. They're like having this sweet conversation between the family and all of a sudden everything goes haywire. And just sort of the plot twists that go along with it, the betrayals and the sort of shaky allies and Michael Caine being Michael Caine. Great movie.
All right, good choice. Have you've seen Children of Men, right, GNice?
I have, but I'm gonna say that I know you. I remember years ago you told me you loved it. I have always been indifferent about that movie. I just thought
okay. No, I loved it too. I think it was like in my top 10 for that year.
Yeah, you used to talk about it all the time, and I was like, why?
Yes, our writing partnership in that show. All right, so my second movie is The Book of Eli. It's another obvious choice. Denzel obviously is my favorite actor of all time, period. And also, it's such an obvious choice. I had to take it off the board before it went too long. I mean, just Bible thumping, Eli just kind of wandering through. It's not much. Well, I guess it is a spoiler, but if you haven't seen it by now, that's on you. The guy's blind. He's going through the whole thing blind, and you just think, oh, he likes his sunglasses, but no, he's blind, and he's really, really in tune with his senses, and he's allegedly carrying the last copy of the Bible around the earth. Okay,
but he's memorized it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in his head. Exactly. Yeah. He's memorized.
His head is right. Yeah. It's not a Braille version. He's memorized the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's memorized it, and he has to stay alive in order to keep the Bible alive. And I don't know. I'm not very religious, so whatever. But I think it's a really cool idea. Very, very iconic. The Hughes brothers. Man, what happened to those guys? What are they up to?
They're doing documentaries. They split up. I can't remember. One of them did some really good documentary recently. I want to say it was the
Eminem Dre stuff.
It was the Eminem Dre thing, 4-parter for HBO. One of them did that, and I think they may be coming back together to do something. But you don't find out that he's carrying the book until the very end. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't find out that, and also, do we find out that he's blind like earlier?
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing it.
No, they don't find out he's blind until at least halfway through.
Yeah,
and then, of course, look at that. Jennifer Beals,
clap it up.
Strong J. Yes.
Another mixed brother, another hot mixed brother. From Chicago. Listen, can I talk about the movie now?
Okay. Please. Yeah, go for it.
This was on my list as well. I recognize that I will actually say this, that I was going to say that this is not actually a very, the movie doesn't really make sense. but it's awesome. This movie is like Denzel playing Daredevil. It's it's a superhero movie, and it's so awesome, and it's so cool, and all the little details. It's so much fun. Again, the movie doesn't really make sense, and Gary is kind of absurd, but it's such a cool movie, and it's so visually fun. Even the first 3 minutes where he's shooting the squirrel, even that weird visual is just so interesting and fun. I thought she was totally miscast,
Mila Kunis.
Yeah, like she can't like.
I didn't mind.
Yeah, I mean she was fine, but like she doesn't bring the same weight that he brings.
Right.
I thought she did a good job, but I felt like she was kind of like the goofy part of the movie. But it was great. I mean, I will always watch this movie when I see it. It's just ridiculous, and the ending is ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. It's just great.
All right. So what's your second movie, GNice?
My second movie, because I have to move some stuff around now. My second movie,
How do you think we would not think of the Book of Eli? You know, Denzel's my man. Come on.
I know, but it's a. Look, let's be honest. It's not like a huge movie. It was like a small, kind of strange movie.
That movie made over 100 million easy.
You know,
but it was, but it wasn't like. It wasn't like people. I don't know. That seemed a little small for you, Ed. You like to do the big ones. Okay, so
he's indicting my character. He says I'm one-dimensional. Okay, go.
I'm saying like, man, that's not like was it a blockbuster hit?
I'm pretty sure it made 100 million.
Yeah, but that's just because his name was on it. It's not like anyway.
That's a lot of money. It's not a lot of money.
Okay, so this is
157 million. Yeah, almost 100 million domestic. So, anyways, go ahead.
I feel like Ed and you and I switched places. This is what I thought you were saying. I was expecting Kevin to say it. Was Terminator 2.
Oh. Okay.
Terminator
We'll allow it. It goes back and forth between the apocalypse and current day.
What? Of course you allow it. That is start of this genre.
Well, the bulk of it takes place in present day or whatever.
Terminator 1 does, but Terminator 2 starts in the future already.
No, true. I mean, no, we'll allow it. Go ahead. I mean, explain it.
Are you shaking your head? Are you about to say it doesn't count?
No, I'm saying it's a great movie, and I was going to start talking, but I wanted to allow you.
It's a great movie, and it's like this is like the perfect. Like, this is this movie's totally absurd, but it's like the perfect popcorn. It's so much fun. It makes zero sense. She's fucking badass.
She's amazing.
Cooler. Like all the stuff that Cameron is weird about. Like he was killing it on this movie.
The special effects are incredible. I think he won Oscars for them, didn't he? I mean, the effects they were. They still hold up today, and they were groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the first one better, but this one's like the better. Like the first one's better, but I figured you would give me a hard time about the future. But the second one's sort of the second one's sort of like because some of the stuff in Terminator 1 is kind of like the special effects are kind of funky. But Terminator 2 was like just fucking great.
Did either of y'all see the latest Terminator, the one that brought back Linda Hamilton?
I did not.
I did, and I mean, I kind of fell asleep on it. I don't know. It wasn't. I mean, I heard people really liked it. I can't say I remember it that well. Yeah.
The transition of Linda Hamilton from the end of Terminator 1 to Terminator 2 is like incredible. Just like she knows what the future is, and it is shit, and she is ready for it. Like she's not the scared little girl sort of crawling across the floor in the discotheque. What was it called? It was on TV. I watched like half of it the other day. It's called like Club Noir or something crazy. She's totally scared, crawling across the floor as Arnold is coming out of here. But instead, she's the one who's like, in all of these movies, you have these moments like in the first Terminator when the guy comes, he's like, come with me if you want to stay alive. That moment, same moment that
fucked up the line.
Mel Gibson, whatever. Same moment that Mel Gibson has.
It's like the iconic line. It's not whatever. You fucked it all up. Come with me if you want to say.
Same moment in Road Warrior when Mad Max sits there and everybody's trying to figure out how they're going to make it. He's like, basically, come with me if you want to stay alive. Same line, same gist, same
It
swagger.
hurt just as bad when you said it the second time.
Yeah, great.
All right, so that's a good one, GNice. Well played. KG, your final pick. What do you got?
I have a few
honorable mentions,
which I will wait till the end for. Okay. But another big obvious one, because that's what we're doing, the big blockbuster ones, is The Matrix. Set off a trilogy, classic, changed the way fight sequences were shot. They came up with the whole bullet time thing. Everyone knows the story. It was supposed to be Will Smith in this role. They started talking to him about bullet time. He was like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I'm out. Keanu stepped in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hold on, are you serious? That's like Hollywood legend. Everyone knows that.
Really? Yeah. Has he talked about it? He's like, I fucking.
He talked about it recently.
I think I saw it recently on something.
Yeah, no, he's been talking about it for years, and it's been well known for years. But he's opened up, like I think within the last 3 or 4 years, about how he totally, I missed that one. I totally whiffed on it. They offered to me, I couldn't get it. I went off to do Wild Wild West instead.
Yep. But you've got Carrie-Anne Moss sort of breaking through into the mainstream. You got your obligatory Joey Pants. Lawrence Fishburne as the Yoda, if you will, the Obi-Wan. And, it's a classic tale. You kind of know what's coming a little bit at the end.
Red pill, blue pill.
A million cultural references that are still alive today. I love the second movie. I know people don't.
I like it. I like the second movie. I think that one had actually better action than the first.
Yeah, the action in the first one was amazing. In the second one, they took it to a whole other level. But Post-Apocalyptic
chase was nuts.
There it is. Great movie.
Matrix. No, I mean it's funny. I didn't even think of it for this, but you're absolutely right. It is a post-apocalyptic future, one where everyone's like, drones are plugged into a computer that runs everything. I mean, it's scary, but it's exciting, interesting. There's definitely some thrills. Yeah, it's a classic. It's an absolute classic. I introduced my mom to it a while ago. I think they brought it out on like IMAX back when we still had theaters, and that was the first time she saw it, and she enjoyed it too. It's a hit for all time.
Yeah, it's a hit. Oh, it's a hit. It's a hit.
There you go. Play your role, GNice.
No.
Shit on the Matrix.
Movie. It's constantly entertaining.
Didn't make enough money for you?
Well, it just didn't really make sense, but it was fun. It was totally fun. And I remember thinking by the time I got to the third one, there's just too much shooting.
And too much time outside of the Matrix in the third one.
Yeah, just like, it was such a cool moment the first time you did it, but now it's just like, there are bullets in every single shot.
Well, the problem with the third one is like, once we know he can beat up everyone, like there's no danger. Like, right. He's going to win. And then when you keep him out of the Matrix, it's like, I don't really want to see him out of the Matrix because it's just Keanu in a fucking burlap sack.
Yeah. There's also a weird moment. I think it was the second or third one when Roy Jones had a line.
Yeah, that was the third one. That was the second one. That was the second one. And Jada was in it. That was the second one, I think.
Did it Professor didn't Cornell West?
Cornell West was in the third.
That's what it was just
before he broke bad. Before Cornell broke bad.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. No, that's a great pick. Well done. I will do my last one, and like you, there's so many I probably could have mentioned. But since I'm apparently the obvious one in the group, the soulless blockbuster.
Wait a minute. I expected you to do Terminator so I could do my Book of Eli, but whatever. We made a switch. It happened.
All right. This one, I don't know how obvious this was, but it showed up on the list when I was doing my little research. It's Avengers Endgame. Yeah. Apocalypse to snap.
You are flirting with the rules, my friend. Flirting with the rules.
I mean, half the movie is when half of humanity has been erased. That is the definition of apocalypse. Well, I mean, it's the big screen version of The Leftovers. It's apocalypse. It's bad. Everyone's gone. People are distraught. Where's Tony Stark? All this sort of stuff, So. Actually, he's there. Where's Mr. Stark? I don't feel so good. All that sort of. I mean, it was bad. But I mean, Avengers Endgame, I think, once we separate our feelings about how the whole MCU business plan and stuff and whatnot, I mean, once I think history will look very kindly, not only on the entire, Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the way they finished. I mean, there's been a lot of talk in general fandom circles in pop culture about things sticking landings. Actually, I think too much talk, to be honest. I mean, none of these motherfuckers know how to write. None of these motherfuckers have gotten anything, made or produced or sold or whatever. But there is an emphasis these days in pop culture on how things end. We give and because some things maybe it's because of social media has gotten so big that it's allowed every person to have their opinion or whatever. But I think there's been overemphasis on how things end and putting too much pressure on people to end things correctly or well. But here's a case, a huge bet, a huge 20-year or 20 film bet or whatever, that a plan which was perfectly executed, that ended probably the best way it could have, made a ton of money, flirted with some Oscar talk, although never got it, of course. And it was just, good Lord, there's like 1,000, there's 1,000 images on this damn thing. So it might be a while before you get to some real live action. But it was iconic for a lot of different reasons. It had some stakes involved. We lost some people we loved. It kind of, set a new generation in motion, et cetera, et cetera. It did everything it needed to do. And even better yet, it was the second half of like a 2-part finale. A lot of room for error here. Largely done in secret. Nobody knew what to expect, outside the MCU, and it largely delivered. So yeah, Avengers Endgame and the apocalypse of basically having half humanity, half of the galaxy just gone in a snap from the previous movie. It was real. Like, they were dealing. You saw Captain America in therapy, for crying out loud. I mean, they treat it in as real a way as you could possibly expect a comic book movie to do, and I saluted Kevin Feige et al. I salute you.
Yeah, it was a great cap to this 10-year sort of run for them. It will be interesting to see how they redefine themselves as they introduce these new characters, because we've grown to love all these other people. But as a non-comic book fan, like, I knew Iron Man a little bit. I didn't know him, that well. So to be able to take these characters that were not really in the mainstream psyche and make them like household names is an incredible job. And we'll see where they go from here. And obviously with Feige sort of pulling strings and the way they're like bringing in great directors and great actors and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure I'll enjoy all the movies to come.
I would dare say, and I know GNice is going to hate on this, and that's fine. I'm ready for you. I would dare say that Iron Man, the original, is one of the most important films in cinematic history. I mean, considering what it set up, the stakes were low going into it. No one really thought it would be what it would be, but that makes it even better because they came in, they underpromised and overdelivered, and it ended up being one of the most important films in cinematic history because it essentially birthed this whole idea, this whole concept of like, a complex, multi-layered, interconnecting, network of movies over time that really has, upended, Hollywood's business model to an extent. Now everyone wants to have a universe. Now, especially with the relative success of The Invisible Man, now there's talk again of Universal trotting out the Monsters universe. Everyone's trying to connect the universe. The DCEU, to lesser success, tried doing extended universe. Everyone wants to do an extended universe, and it all started with Iron Man.
I would say, to your point, Eduardo, to your point, they will talk about Iron Man and the MCU the same way people talk about Jaws, as far as like Jaws was the first movie that sort of was a blockbuster and sort of got people thinking about that blockbuster model. And
in the summer, especially,
yeah. To your point, is it really brought superheroes to the forefront. Now, like what you saw post-corona in theaters, 50% of it was either a blockbuster, like a superhero movie, or a horror movie, or somebody who was trying to be some sort of superhero type of movie. So all the smaller films are being pushed out, and those stories are turning into limited series and 10 episode, like the British model, that sort of a television quote unquote series, whereas the theaters are sort of being dominated by these superheroes and these
tentpole movies only.
Tentpoles only. Yeah.
Go big or stay home. Like literally, like stream at home.
Yep.
That might be, you're right, that might be the post-corona formula after. I mean, if these theaters survive, and obviously at Cinema Draft we have a vested interest in keeping them alive, but even how they survive, which ones do survive, and what kinds of films we see make it to the screen will maybe a lot different than even the transition period we've been going through the last several years, where it's been a struggle for a lot of smaller movies to make it even in multiplexes. It's just challenging. A lot of these movies are being steered towards home. So, and now that these studios have had a taste of direct to consumer streaming and bypassing theatrical windows, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of figures and numbers come out of this. It might be hard for them to to try out anything less than a tentpole blockbuster to the theater, seeing how there's an appetite and audience for people at home. I don't know. And you're right in the middle of it. You're our WBW, or working black writer. You're there in Hollywood. I think you're a free agent right now. I mean, it's, you can tell us firsthand when you sign your next deal or sell your next, script or movie, or help someone else produce their own script. Maybe, who knows? I mean, you can tell us what the lay of the land is, once everything gets back to normal. But right now, I mean, and actually, quick cultural cul-de-sac, are deals being done right now?
Deals are being done now. There are some writers' rooms that got early pickups that are already starting. They're doing Zoom rooms, basically.
Sweet.
Where writers are meeting and working and breaking stories. I talked to a friend who's on Walker, Texas Ranger. They just started this week. I talked to another friend who's on All American, and they were finishing up doing some episodes for the next season. Okay. And they're meeting via Zoom, and it's business is continuing to a certain extent. So,
that's excellent. All right. Well, and also, my follow-up question, then we'll try to steer out of the cul-de-sac after this, because we could definitely talk about the industry for a while when I'm concerned. But my other question is, are they also doing work somewhat as usual on the writer end to stockpile scripts in the possibility of a strike? And how are we looking strike-wise?
Well, the Corona has sort of changed everything. They were supposed to start negotiations with the companies, I believe it was this week or the next week, but they're holding off on that, all things considering, and sort of taking measured steps to sort of evaluate how they're going to move forward. The writers may indeed continue to work without a contract after May 1st, most likely, just because of the circumstances with quarantines, and it's hard for what they're saying. It's hard to really make these deals and get them done unless you're in the room where it happens, so to speak.
Right.
Where I don't even know how it works, but conversations happening all over the room where these different deal points are being discussed, I'm imagining. So we're going to wait and see. We'll see what happens. Streaming residuals is the big point that would trigger something. But at this point, before, I would say people definitely didn't want to strike and didn't want to stop working because there was so much on the table. I would say both the writers and the companies have every reason to keep things moving work-wise. Deadline always shills for the companies. They
really do. They're such a company rag.
Because, companies buy ad space on Deadline, and we do not. So
right. And you can see in the comments too. Anytime I dip into the comments and the writers, and it's just, I mean, anonymous. It's almost like anonymous agent. It's just like talking shit.
Anonymous has a lot of shit to talk.
Yeah. All right. So that was mine. Didn't mean to steer us totally off track. GNice.
Well, okay. So two things. You motherfuckers. Two things. One, the Avengers movies have been excellent. When I was a kid growing up reading comics, I never in a wildest dreams thought this would be like this. This is great. It's fantastic. That movie was so much fun. It's exactly what, like, most of the characters look the way I want. Like, Tony Stark is never this popular in the comics, but whatever.
And it got me to quit making fun of you for all your comic books.
Right. That was the goal. So success. Like this is, to me, these worlds they've created, like DC can't do it as well, which makes me sad. But this is really, really good.
That's because they had Zack Snyder set up as their godfather. Oh my God, what a clown.
Well, I think this Black Widow movie never came out. It hasn't come out yet?
No, it was going to come out May 1st, and to me that seemed to be like, the one where if they moved that, then half summer is definitely going to be gone, and that's exactly what happened. Now everything, it's been put on hold indefinitely, which is smart, because they just kind of want to see that if they're going to open up theaters in 3 months, whatever, they don't want to say, oh, we're sending it back to like November or some nonsense. They want to have it ready to go as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would say that's going to be a true test of the universe, because she's a character that I personally, she doesn't really have powers.
Dude, that movie's going to be fucking huge.
It's going to be huge.
I'm not saying it's going to be huge or it's not going to be huge. I'm talking about me personally, my investment in her as a character. Are they going to make me care am I going to walk out of that movie saying I can't wait for Black Widow 2?
Well, actually, from what I've seen on the interwebs, because the internet's always right, is that from the second trailer, the one that had a lot of Florence Pugh in it, that they're kind of using this one as a transition movie, that Florence Pugh will be the future Black Widow, and that even though this is Scarlett's top billing, whatever, because Florence Pugh is so popular and such a hot commodity right now, and that she was such a focus of the second trailer, it seems like they're setting it up so that Florence Pugh will be like the next real Black Widow, that she will be moving forward whatever Black Widow is in like Black Widow 2 or whatever. Which kind of makes sense, and that's actually really. I mean, if they pull that off, and I'm sure Scarlett is fine with that. She's an actor, a serious actor, all sort of stuff too. I mean, and she's played Black Widow for 2 decades now. I mean, that'd be a really smart move on Feige's part and the Marvel Universe's part, and it would set up a Black Widow series independent of her, for a generation to come. I think it'd be great.
This Florence Pugh, what's her deal? Sorry.
Have you heard of her? Are you familiar at all?
I'm looking her up on my phone.
Oh no, Florence Pugh is incredible. She is. Oh, all right. So she was in Little Women, which might. I mean, I don't know if that's like the biggest profile.
GNice, are you aware of this woman?
I know who she is. Yeah, but I don't.
No, she's a big deal. At least
okay.
big theater goers, like people who like see 50 movies a year like me. Like we love Florence Pugh. Like Fighting in My Family. It's a dumb movie. She was fine in it. Little Women.
I see 50 movies a year, just that 40 of them are Moana.
All right. Well, well played. Daddington, living that Daddington life.
It's also with Zach Braff in that movie.
Well, among millennials who really, really stand for Florence Pugh, they find that disgusting. They feel like, how did Zach Braff actually bag her? Which I think is hilarious because, us old guys, old single guys, let's put it that way. I mean, we like to think we can still pull someone young and hot. So, more power to them. But she was in Midsommar, which is a really, really weird movie, a movie I have no desire to see again, but was really well done. And kind of a bit of it's not quite horror, but it is really kind of thrillerish and creepy. And there's a lot of blood and guts. But her character, especially the first 30 minutes, it's like a masterclass in like emotional acting. Like she's like, you really feel like how much grief she's going through. So that really definitely sold me on it. But what really got me on the Florence Pugh train early on, Little Drummer Girl. Here we go. Another Brit-ficient 6-episode miniseries where, it's like her and I'm forgetting the guy who's in this, but like she's kind of being led around by this guy into this life of it's like a 60s period piece, but she's kind of like this not quite debutante, but she's got like an artist type who finds herself in the middle of like PLO politics in the 70s. It's like really wild shit, but she's really good. She's she's got obviously she's beautiful but she's adaptable and she's got like really expressive face. I think the world is her oyster. Everyone wants to work with her. I mean, I'm not surprised she made the move to Marvel, where it will definitely raise her profile. But she's excellent. And I saw Lady Macbeth. I saw it like at home on streaming one day, and that one is it's like all her. And she's like smart and devious. I think she shot when she was like 20 or something. It's like she's only 24. She's, buy stock in Florence Pugh right now. Watch everything she's in because she's sexy. Greg will like this. She's not afraid to get naked. She, daring, bold with her body. She also is not like a typical pencil thin shape either. She's great. I love her. She's awesome. Florence Pugh. Yeah. There's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So yeah,
GNice, we're still on your page.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So that was my last one. GNice, bring us home.
Yeah, I will, but I still wanted to say this other small piece that you said.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say that I agree with you that the Iron Man was the beginning of it, and the Iron Man is like the perfect popcorn movie. It's perfect. It's fun. It's like silly. It's ridiculous. Robert Downey Jr. was awesome. It's a super simple story. And then that was exactly the perfect drop off. Like Black Widow, Iron Man, Iron Man's like a B-level character in the Marvel universe. Black Widow was like a C-. But like the way it's presented through these guys are huge popular characters now. They've got their own books. It's really, the way Marvel has created these worlds is really good. And even on TV, like those Daredevil stuff, that was all great too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I agree with you. I just want to say that out loud 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
All right. My last my last choice. This is a hard one because I have some. Look, there's whatever. We'll get to the other ones later. But the last one. This is a really horrible movie, but it's so good. I never need to see it again. But it's the perfect apocalypse movie. You guys seen The Road?
Yes.
That sounds familiar. Hold on.
It's on my list. On my list.
Oh yeah, it's Vigo and Charlize. I did see this one.
Dude, this movie's so horrible and so unfun to watch.
Yeah, I never want to see that again.
So horrible. I read the book. Great book.
Cormac McCarthy, right?
You never seen the movie?
I've seen the movie, yeah, too.
The scene when he goes downstairs and the bodies are down there. Oh God, I'm so stressed out. Such a horrible movie, but it's so incredibly good. And the whole time you're sitting there and you have these like super stressful, scary moments. What's gonna happen? It's never really clear what's going on. And then there's like these sweet moments when he finds the pop and he's giving it to his kid. And like that line at the end where he's like, what is who is it? The dude from Memento. He's in the last scene.
Is he in that?
Yeah, he's in the last scene. He's like, your dad's been through a lot, huh? Something, no, kid, you've been through a lot right after his dad dies. It's so good. It's so good. It's such a good, horrible movie.
And the great thing about it, it's like, it's very what you would think to be realistic. It's just a guy trying to protect his kid. It's like, how much do you expose the kid to? How much do you protect him from?
Right.
As in protecting him, are you doing him a disservice? Like, how much of the real rawness does he absolutely need to know to survive? It's a great movie.
It's a fucking great movie. It's so like I don't ever want to see it again. But I always think like I do, but then I start watching it and I get that like horrible feeling that I don't. Like I remember when I got through the movie, when it was over, I was so happy the credits were rolling. Like, okay, I saw it, it's done. But it's very, very good. And Vigo's fucking awesome. He's always really good, but he's great.
Yeah.
All right, well done. And we'll call it into that segment. Well done, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Give yourselves a hand.
Mine with the
just a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah,
okay. All right, let's keep these quick.
I'm just going to name off some things. 3 movies. Gattaca.
Yes.
Clockwork Orange.
Huh.
Ooh, that's a good. You should have said that. That's a good one.
And I didn't want to go too obscure. And then
I would have respected you.
And then Minority Report. One of Spielberg's best. Like a lot.
Well, that's more like futuristic. I'm not sure that's apocalyptic though.
I don't know. That's why I kept it off the list. But go ahead. That's all.
I got mine. So there's 2 things that like part of they're not actually good movies, but I do appreciate when the movies like where the world is ending and they're funny, like Zombieland.
Yeah. Thank you. That is an honorable mention.
Like I don't love that movie, but I do think it's really fun when you have fun with the end of the world. And then the end was great too. I didn't want to be too snotty about it, but like I used to love this movie. You guys have seen Delicatessen?
Ew.
Once I saw it. Yeah.
No, I never saw it. I'm not into cannibalism. Sorry.
It's not really cannibalism, dude. It's mostly funny, but it was pretty great. That's a GNice movie. The dude who does Amelie, and it was like it's just one of his earlier stuff. I think it's his first one. It's just really.
Did somebody say Amelie?
Huh?
Did someone say Amelie? Now I'm watching.
Someone say zombie.
Drink. Yes, drink.
But I think it's a really, really fun, interesting, cool, small little movie.
All right, and my honorable mentions are the whole reboot of the Planet of the Apes series. Those were awesome.
Oh yeah,
I think I liked all 3 of them. They're all great. And Snowpiercer, that train, man, that was a ride. Like literally, that was a fun.
Yeah.
What? You didn't like Snowpiercer? You know what? I bet you didn't like Parasite, did you?
Yes, I like what it represents.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not gonna get into that. Parasite's like one of my favorite movies now. Well, that was
not your favorite. You want to watch that movie over and over and over again?
I have. I've seen it 3 times now. In IMAX one time too. It's awesome. It's one of the most original movies I've ever seen. It's like Star Wars and that. Like it brought up some shit that I didn't know you could do. Like, yeah, that was great. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna take a break right now. We're gonna pause the recording for those watching at home, and for those listening, you will get to learn and be reintroduced or introduced for the first time of how the Cinema Draft game is played and what it's about. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this brief message. All right. Now, we are going to a new segment. We used to do the over-under, but since the over-under has mothballed theaters until they reopen, we're going to do our quarantine movie of the week instead. There we go. That's right. So basically, last week's movie of the week, our Wednesday quarantine movie of the day, it was Boomerang, and we discussed and covered Boomerang in exhaustive detail earlier. Our quarantine movie of the week this week will be Wednesday's movie of the day, and that shall be Ye Olde Triple Frontier. Are you familiar with Triple Frontier, Kate?
I am not familiar with this.
Yeah, this one. I mean,
it's Netflix. This was a Netflix joint.
Yeah,
right?
this is a fun one. You should do it. It's definitely like, you know, a guy's guy movie. It's got Pedro Pascal. Now he was a bit of that guy for a little bit, but then I'm not sure exactly when his star really, you know, rose. I don't know if it was his stint on Game of Thrones or some other stuff before that. But Pedro Pascal, every time I think it was Narcos. I think Narcos really put Pedro Pascal in our living rooms on a regular basis, and he's just, I mean, every time I see him in something, you just know it's going to be done well. He's the Mandalorian. He just, every time he shows up, he's just a good time. So he's in this. Oscar Isaac. Ben Affleck, another one of those old mercenaries to make one last score. They're robbing a South American drug dealer of his tens of millions, and of course it goes awry. But it's just a really good action flick. I mean, it would have been interesting to see it in theaters. I think they did one of those brief releases in theaters, but I saw it at home, and it was just fine.
And I like the Charlie Hunnam as well. He's a good dude. Loved Sons of Anarchy. So
Sons of Anarchy, great. Yeah, there's a whole internet theory about how Sons of Anarchy broke Charlie Hunnam. As far as like his accent and stuff, like even when you hear him in his native British accent as a gentleman, you're kind of like, is that really British? You know, because he did Jax Taylor for so long. You just don't know if it really kind of broke him as an actor. But anyways, yeah, it's a good guns and guy flick, Triple Frontier. Definitely make sure to check it out. And also, people, this will be up by the time this posts on your podcast platforms and on our YouTube platform. So make sure you chime in with your tweet length review. Give us your tweet length review at our Twitter account @PlayCinemaDraft. And also, speaking of social media and the games we play on there, I'm gonna give you all a sneak preview. If you guys are listening to this or watching this actually better if you're watching this on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on YouTube before Thursday, we're introducing a new game this Thursday. A game you'll be able to play along during your quarantine at home. I'm not sure if y'all have been like, you know, browsing Twitter looking for information or just diversion, but a lot of times we see stuff just randomly trending on Twitter, like, you know, just comparing people to people or stuff to stuff. Well, damn it, Cinema Draft, it's not like we're bored per se, but, you know, we want to join in the fun. So we came up with, and tell me if you can see this, the $100 Build Your Dream Cast. Check this out. So you got $100 to build your dream cast. And it's got a slight variation of normal Cinema Draft rules. You have to choose at least one headliner, co-star, or day player. You only have $100 to spend, and you must have 6 actors. No more, no less. Somewhat like the Cinema Draft game, whereas you had a $100,000 budget and 10 actors. Here, you have a $100 budget, and you must make sure you get your headliner, at least one headliner. You get 40% bonus, just like the regular Cinema Draft game, for your headliner. So you at least get bonus points there. But the way we're going to do is we're going to do scoring by poll. So after we post this on Thursday, we'll link to it on Friday, and we'll run a poll of the headliners on Friday, co-stars on Saturday, and day player on Sunday. And whoever and then we basically do it in reverse order. So whoever gets the most votes will get the most points, and then kind of reverse engineer it from that. And so then you'll be able to score your call sheet on Mondays when we post all the results of the polls. So make sure you check it out. We will post this on our Twitter and our Facebook account. Polling will only be available on Twitter. So make sure you go to @PlayCinemaDraft on Twitter.com to make your pick. So just a quick perusal. Do you have a dream cast in mind already, KG?
Well, I thought I did until I looked to initially I was thinking Denzel, Viola, Giancarlo, Martindale, and then Aaron Paul. I don't know if that's enough money-wise, but then I saw Meryl Streep over there, and you gotta. I mean, how can you
tough
not?
choices, man? Tough choices.
How
Yeah,
can you not go with Meryl Streep? I mean,
yeah. I think you were. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think you might have been one actor. Like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think you're one actor short, and you still had $11 left over. So that cast was working until you saw Streep. Streep just
yeah, but she's only $1 more than Denzel. If I've had, I mean, if you had, it's tough because if you go with two headliners, if you go with Denzel and Meryl, it doesn't leave you with a ton of cash left, which is it's the fun of the game trying to find that money.
If you go with those two together, there's no way you can get a co-star in. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one I did when I was creating this game, and I mean this might be giving away a game, but there's only a dozen people listening to us anyways. I couldn't let down my boy Denzel. That's my dude. So I did Denzel and I did Emily Blunt. So that's two headliners right there, but that's $70 down the drain. Then I went Aaron Paul, co-star. So now we're at $87. We're only at $87 on 3 actors. We're almost screwed. But then out with the bottom of the list. No Giancarlo is too expensive. But when Ali Wong, I love her.
Yeah.
I did Margot Martindale. She's solid. And
she's great.
And then I mean, we already have Ali Wong. She's funny enough, so we'll just put in Domhnall Gleeson. Solid British accent. That's $100 on the dot. All 6 cast. Boom.
That's a pretty solid run there.
Boom.
It's hard for me to leave Viola off my call sheet. Like
she's incredible. I mean,
but it also depends on what kind of movie you're making. If you want to do a rom-com and you go Will and Sanaa, or Will and Gal, who knows? I mean,
Yeah, and I called my movie Murder on the Midnight Train, a drama.
Right. Or you could do like like sort of a Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, Gal Gadot, sort of thing, or
I watched
throw
the hell out of that.
Throw in Jude Law or like a Cruise Law situation. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here.
Okay, I like your heads up. Yeah, so that'll be up on Thursdays. So you got a sneak peek to start thinking about it. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun little game. Hopefully, we'll get some traction. We'll get some good votes in and stuff, and it might even give us something to do while we're waiting for the theaters to return. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So yes, we're bringing this sucker in for a landing. GNice, as you guys might have surmised, gave us the old Irish goodbye. He peaced out, but thanks to you, KG, Kevin Garnett, the Chocolate Cardinal, Stanford's finest, working black writer, grace us with your presence.
Oh, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Can't wait till the game gets backed up, and I am definitely going to have to put up a call sheet for this game on Friday.
Yeah, outstanding, excellent. Actually, it'll be Thursday, but Thursday you can get a look at it and start putting your call sheet together, and then the polling fun starts on Friday. And always, I'm here for you guys as well. Anything for you to plug your ish.
Nothing for me to plug as of now. I will definitely be checking out Uncorked on Friday, the Prentice Penny Netflix movie.
What's it called? Cork? Oh, that's the wine one. That's Prentice Penny?
It's called Uncorked. Yeah, the showrunner of Insecure did a movie, I think it's like in Memphis in France, and it comes out Friday. I'll be checking that out.
Oh, excellent.
Dynasty, my next episode of Dynasty should be coming on here pretty soon, but I don't know when that is. I think we're at probably 15 or so. Okay. But that's coming on.
And what everyone wants to know is, will you guys be able to finish out the season?
There will be a final episode of the season. We were scheduled to do 22. We had 22 episodes written, but because of the coronavirus, they actually stopped producing episodes at episode 20 this season. So that episode 20 will be the last one of season 3. And then I'm not sure for season 4 whether we will shoot those final 2 of season 3 and sort of have that as a beginning of season 4, or whether they'll scrap those, and because there's obviously we were leading up to kind of a big thing, so we'll see how it turns out.
I think I'm 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I'm 4 behind. But what I kind of like to do is like to binge them. I'll get them all like lined up, and then just kind of rip right through them while while I'm working on something that doesn't like require my full attention. So, but it's fun that and I've got a huge crush on Elizabeth Gillies. My goodness, such style, so good looking, such great. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's actually like Fallon Carrington in life, but she plays the hell out of her. Fallon is so entertaining and fun.
She has a lot of Fallon isms in her.
Okay,
but yeah, she can definitely talk. She talks fast and super smart, super on top of it. Yes.
Amen. All right.
Love Liz.
Love Liz Gillies. All right, and before we totally play ourselves out, slightly bit of a somber note. Not that she ever would have known what a podcast was, but dedicating this episode to our girl Adrienne. Adrienne Mansion, she went to the Lord, as my mom would like to say, back on Friday. Wow. She was 94 years old, lived quite a life, did not die because of the coronavirus, but we weren't able to see her or anything because of the restrictions around the coronavirus. But she was a great friend of the family. Back when I went to church, she was my Sunday school teacher. Always prayed for me. Was always very prayerful, and just a really great, classy lady. You introduced me to gambling. She took me to the horse race when I was a kid, and that was awesome. So give up to Adrienne. Hopefully she's listening to the podcast Addict in the Sky. And and on that note, damn it, well, instead of go see a movie or something, because you really kind of can't, we're rocking with our Instagram hashtag, the quarantine and chill. Quarantine and chill with a movie or something.
Yes, sir.
And check our Instagram and all that good stuff. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back here next week with another great guest and another great topic. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.